You, stop trying to brute force your SpaceBar key off right now, and check the model. Some models of keyboard, including the SteelSeries keyboard, will screw down their SpaceBar key, so if you try to brute force it out, it might cause damage. To avoid wrecking it like I have, we're going to have to go for the back, which you'll need a screwdriver and maybe a card to help with that. Don't ask me where I got this. Basically, unscrew it. There are 15 screws total. One of them is behind a sticker, just so you know that. And what I like to do to help a little is to get a glass cup, put them all inside of. I'm going to assume you guys know how to use a screwdriver, start screwing more or less. There's nothing more to it. For this one, the screws are inside these holes, so it's a little hard to tell. I'll get back to you when I'm finished that. Figured I might as well do this now before anybody comes downstairs to do anything. I might have to slap the bottom to get these out, by the way. And don't forget to count heads. We need exactly 15 screws here. Now that they're all removed, this is where it gets a little tricky. This thing is clamped down and we're going to need to pry it open. Now, usually I use the screwdriver to help with this, but you could use your hands if you're strong enough. Basically, I'm just going to pop out this corner. There's going to be a bunch of loud snaps and it might feel shifty, but we're going to drag our card along the sides and continue to snap it open. You're going to have to keep holding on to it while you do this. I find it helps to pop one of these legs open and use it. Hopefully it doesn't break. There we go. Well, be careful as you're doing this too, because obviously there are things inside of the keyboard, like what I assume are the sensors, and those little buttons, and they can fall out, so you want to sort of hold on to them both, because basically these are supposed to line up. I'm just going to put this over here, and now you can see the screw. There should be a second one over here, but I already made a crucial mistake trying to pry it open the first time. And I broke it. Yet it still functions perfectly fine to this day. So basically just unscrew that and then you're home free, but before you go, there's one last crucial detail I want to show you. You might have noticed that I've removed a few more keys. Now I want you to pay attention to these colored clamps here, because the bronze ones are actually way different from the orange ones, for two main reasons. First of all, this is within the key itself, but you'll notice these things, and these are what these inserted bars go into. You see that little piece of metal in there? I can get it to hang out too. Basically, the bar goes in there, and you want to make sure the key is facing the right way. You want to make sure that the bar is inserted properly. If it isn't inserted, like on both sides, like the space bar can be especially difficult for this. It goes, the bar for the space bar, I believe, goes in here and in here. So I was actually kind of wrong there the first time. The metal bar fits into this piece here, not there. But you get the idea. Actually, the main reason the bar/wire exists is to keep the longer keys from wobbling around too much and stabilize them more. But speaking of which, there's actually another crucial detail, and I'm not sure if you'll even be able to see it, but I'll try to get a close-up. Basically, these orange ones, look at them from all dimensions. They are perfectly symmetrical, all of them. But the bronze ones, that side's the same, and the back side. But the front is different. And I cannot stress this enough. If you remove these bronze ones, you have to make sure the front side is facing the front. If you do not, you'll end up with a key that is either not responsive at all when you tap on it lightly and doesn't do anything, or you'll end up with a key that you press too hard on and it'll get stuck in its downward position. And so that's basically why that happens. You want to make sure this thing is facing the right direction. I know this from experience because I've made this mistake once myself. Putting the keys back on is relatively simple. As I mentioned, spacebar is a bit more complicated. You want to make sure you're fitting it into those springs there without getting them caught. Obviously, like I said about this, make sure that's facing the right way. Make sure the bar is inside on both ends. It can be a bit tricky, but sometimes I use the screwdriver to help a little. Otherwise, I'll just, I'll fit them back into place real quick. Might be able to see the bar in there. It's right inside there behind the plastic. I'm gonna put the shift key inside. You can't really see it, but the bar isn't on both sides, and once you make sure that's the case, you just push down. Perfect example, if you're not certain, you can always check on the other side. See, I've inserted this wrong, so the bar is there, but it's not there. You can see it on the outside, so I gotta go fix that. That's the enter key, by the way. If the bar starts falling out of the key itself, it's pretty easy to pop back in. There are these little clamp-like things, and you basically just press it into them. Alright, so I'll leave you to it and spare you my awkward camera motions from now on. Just know that I'm personally qualified to say this because I already busted my keyboard. Have a good day.